Yeah, go on, every last inch of that young fucking cock. Go on, push it in harder.
Oh boy, here we go. So, here's a movie that was suggested to me, and I have no idea why. Do you remember the review I did for that tire movie, where the car tire comes alive and starts killing people? Yeah. So, in the realm of things that don't make sense, this movie was worse. Now, I'm not really sure if I would call this a movie, because it seems more like a music video that someone threw together to distract people from how awful the song for the music video is. You know, the title doesn't do it justice. The experience is just on the next level. All right, so let's venture into this strange-ass movie, and let's review Titane. Titane? Titane. Why is it nobody can ever pronounce this freaking movie? Now, things are gonna seem very outlandish, right? You're thinking this is going to be about cars because it starts off where you can see the interior of the car and some kind of oil leaking. Maybe the car is aroused, having a great time. It's all wet and cylindrical, and I'm guessing for people who like mating with machines, this is their erotica. We meet this androgynous piece of shit. Now, I know that seems harsh, but this child really is a piece of work. Her father is driving. He looks like he does not want to be doing this because this little girl is humming nonstop. Tell me, as a regular person, would you not be annoyed if this little shit was trying to purposely antagonize you while you're trying to drive and stay focused on the road? Don't tell me that that freaking face is not the face of the freaking Antichrist. And I'm not even religious, but holy shit, man. The child looks like a freaking demon. They cast the perfect person for this, cause holy shit. I would have tossed the whole child out the window. Now we're thinking that it's gonna be about this kid, and it's gonna be about her growing up troubled and making bad stuff happen all around her. Not quite. Oh my god. I grew up in a completely different time with a completely different culture, and I swear to shit. Yeah, that kind of stuff would not be happening. And everyone's like, oh, child abuse, blah, blah, blah. What about abuse for me? I'm being assaulted, harassed. At some point, somebody has to teach this person boundaries. And maybe I'm stupid, but I don't think putting them in timeout is quite working, is it? Someone needs to blast the freaking radios, and the father needs to scream nonstop until this little bitch goes insane. Anyway, she keeps on harassing him, kicking his chair, doing anything to annoy him, and he's saying stop, and she has a stick up her ass. And she's like, let me undo the seatbelt. And he's like, put on your seatbelt. Boom. They crash and there's blood on the windshield. I am sorry. Call me a freaking cynical asshole, but that's what her dumb ass gets. Jeez, Altiori, you really don't like kids, do you? Oh, I like kids. But that little shit was not a child. That was a gremlin in human form. Changed my mind. Anyway, because of the injury, little idiot has to get a metal plate put in her head. The father looks like he feels awful. Of course, this is still his daughter. He doesn't want anything to happen to her, and he lost control of the vehicle. But then when he looks over at her, and she's following what the nurse or whoever is saying, she's looking at him like she hates him. And she was doing that from the beginning. Like, what is going on between the both of them? You would automatically think at first that, oh, maybe the father did something horrible to her. But it's also very possible that the child is just a piece of shit. And the parents are a piece of shits for not disciplining the child or teaching them to be a regular human being. This is what happens when you don't teach your children boundaries. They grow up psychotic or sociopathic, whatever. Now this woman, this child, has a permanent Nautilus-looking scar on the side of her head. She walks over to the family car and starts, like, molesting it, touching it without its consent, and hugging and kissing it. Fast forward to when she grows up. And here's where things start to get freaking weird, right? You're thinking, okay, this is gonna be something's wrong with the child. Maybe she's gonna be the serial killer or whatever. She's grown up, and she has this little Chinese thing that she puts in her hair. I think it's called a jeet. And she heads into work to go strip. There's a special car that she seems to have a relationship with, because that's the one she dances on and twerks on. I'm like, I don't know if you can call that twerking what she does, because like, she don't have no ass. I think there should be another name for females with the little tiny buns. It's not twerking, it's chirping. She starts chirping on her car, and we get like a 5 to 6 minute show of her just dancing. And maybe it's just me, but I don't particularly feel very entertained. I feel like this is someone's cyberpunk fever dream. Anyways, after she loves her car very much in front of an audience, she walks home and quickly discovers that somebody is chasing her. She gets to her car, and I don't understand why this bitch doesn't take off. The guy says he waited 3 hours for an autograph. So you're gonna chase a woman when she's freaking tired and alone in the dark so you can get her autograph, my guy? How creepy. And you know what? The guy's a freaking asshole, but she's a freaking idiot. If you don't want people doing this kind of behavior, don't reward them when they do it. Do you think my bitch ass would open my window when some guy is chasing me alone in the dark when there's nobody else around? I open my window and give him a fucking autograph where he can strangle me and shit or drug me. What the hell is wrong with this woman? She's so freaking dumb. How can you be working in this business and not know that shit? Man, this is freaking dumb. Do not do what she does. Oh, God, that part just made me so annoyed. I'm like, bitch, whatever you get is what you deserve. Because clearly, you obviously don't want to live. This monster is behind a barrier and you could have taken off, and instead you're like, let me wind down my window and let you do whatever. Cause if you're like this, you get whatever you want, right?
Non, désolé, bonne soirée.
Attends. On se fait la bise quand même.
Really, bro? Really? I don't know why this particular part of the movie annoys me so much. This was the part of the movie that made me feel as though my throat was disintegrating with anger at her. Him, he's a freaking tool. But you're rewarding the behavior. And I get a kiss, goodbye. Bitch, do I know you? I'll give you a kiss. Here, take this mace. Here, kiss my Glock. Get the fuck out my face and out my car. Don't let and then you get mad at the person and say, oh, they're horrible. You encourage the behavior. Oh my God. Anyway, things take a turn, and I guess you're supposed to cheer for this character when it does, but all it makes me do is lose so much respect for her, and I guess that's what it intended to do, because this is not really a character that's supposed to be, like, redeemable or likable. She's clearly unlikable if you couldn't tell from the beginning of the movie.
Je crois que je suis tombé amoureux de toi en fait.
He goes on to saying how in love with her he is. She just sits there listening, and then he grabs her and kisses her. And honestly, while I would still admit that this is creepy behavior, like past 9,000 creepy behavior, her looking at him while he's sitting there is sending him mixed messages. And she's basically saying to him, hey, although I was trying to run from you, I'm hearing what you're saying and I'm looking into your eyes and you're telling me all this creepy shit that should have already had me taking off in my car and running over you to get away, but I'm just gonna sit here and listen because, you know, validation or whatnot, or maybe I like you. So he's like, well, she's not running away or saying no thank you. Maybe she's down. So let me jump the bullet and kiss her. And she lets him. And then this happens. Yep. She stabs him in the ear, and then he starts foaming and seizuring all over the car. Caught that fade, brother. Should have kept on walking. Should have grabbed your dick and kept walking. Now, did he deserve death? Probably not. All he was doing was being freaking creepy. He waited for cues from her before he did anything, so maybe he didn't deserve it. Did he have the capability, and was it possible he was going to do something? Sure. He was following her in the dark for an autograph. But this is obviously something that she didn't seem very surprised doing. The fact that she just went from that to kissing him to killing him means that she has done this before. She takes a shower to get all the icky stuff off. She goes to investigate what that banging noise is. Maybe it's some other dude that followed her to her house. But when she opens the door, it's her car. The car and her mate. Yep, you heard what I said. They mate. It's copulation. Bear with me here. Cause it gets freaking crazy. The news continues talking about a serial killer, and she starts noticing that she has stomach problems. Her mother tells her that her dad should look at her stomach. Maybe he's a gynecologist or something like that, and he doesn't look too happy to do it. Then when he's feeling around her stomach, she's like, no, put your hand right there, daddy. And he's like, what the fuck? Obviously, if something was going on where the dad was the aggressor, I think he would be a little more, like, creepy. But she's the one doing all the creepy behavior, which is like, ew. She makes out with a girl that obviously liked her for a long time. When she sees the metal thing stuck inside the little girl's fleshy milk carrier, she starts pulling at it like really hard and painfully. The girl is obviously very angry and she's like, dude, it hurts. But she doesn't want to hurt our serial killer's feelings, whose name is Alexia, by the way. And she's a lot more restraint than me, because I would have done slap that bitch. But anyway, Alexia just leaves her there and tantrums herself to the water. There she throws up. The water looks so fresh and clean to me, it's kind of like... Then here's the kicker. She's pregnant. And when she starts wiping, like, her underneath and stuff, oil comes out. Like, yeah, like car grease. Because now she's pregnant with the automobile's baby. Oh, well. She takes a test to confirm this, and then she tries to get rid of it, because, you know, I kind of can't blame her. She then goes back to the girl who really likes her and gives her another chance, and then kills the girl, just stabs her in the face with her G, the little hairpin thing. And then just goes freaking sociopathic on all the people in the house, killing all of them too. Like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Apparently this is a freaking serial dude, so full-on sociopath here. Then this large chocolate man comes into the scene and she's like, God damn it. I have to take him down now? It's like a linebacker. But I really feel bad for this dude because the poor thing just asked if she was okay. He had to use the bathroom. And you could tell he's shy and sweet. And she's coming on to him, full on touching him and hugging him and all this weird shit. So she's like, I'm so tired or whatever, and whatever excuse she's giving. He asks her, who did you come with? Maybe, you know, someone that you know. He's trying to be a good person. And after he asks this is literally what she does. Just rests her head on his chest, being all sensual, and then after all of this, he asks her, well, would you like to share my bed with me? And then she gets mad. Bitch, good God, was this character unlikable. If they were trying to make us hate her, they did a goddamn good job. Because this poor man did not deserve to die. He wasn't even being inappropriate or anything. She was completely touching him and being sensual to him without his consent. And then when he offers her to stay with him, not even like, hey, you want me to smash them cheeky cheekies, girl? I'ma blow your back out, Snow Bunny. Together, we're gonna make a snowblower. He didn't say any of that. He just asked, hey, do you want to share my bed? That could mean anything. But then she gets upset.
Ça va pas?
Oh, je suis crevée.
Tu veux que je te prête mon lit?
I'm sorry. He didn't say share bed. It's a good thing I looked it over. He said, I can lend you my bed. Lend you my bed, meaning I don't have to sleep in it. You can take my bed. And she kills him. Would she have killed him regardless because she already killed all those other people? Maybe. But really? Anyway, one of the girls gets away, completely topless, and, you know, that doesn't matter. She burns the evidence, locks her father and mother in their room. Don't know why they would have doors that do that where you can get locked in. That's kind of stupid. And yeah, burns her parents up in the house. She hitches a ride and then sees some stuff of missing persons. And she's like, wait a minute, what does he mean? As you can see, it shows what they would look like if they were older. And this missing boy would look like this at 17, or so they think, even though that's doesn't really look like a human being, but whatever. Then she gets the bright idea. I could just pretend to be one of those missing children and have my parents come pick me up. That's how I can assume a new identity. Then the father of this boy, Adrian, is contacted. Our lead character breaks her nose, I guess, to look more like Adrian's nose, because he clearly looks Hispanic. The father comes by. He's like, no, I don't need a DNA test. They're like, are you sure? He's like, I don't need one. I know my own son. With his nose looking like a freaking raven claw. Even though that's not how the child looks. I think deep down inside the father knows this is not his son, but he's obviously hurting. He tells everyone this is my son. But the main character, Alexia, is like, yeah, I can't give away that I can talk because I don't know if I can play the boy voice very well. So she just doesn't talk. She's Adrian now. He takes off his son's clothes, which Alexia, Adrian now, didn't want to give up because remember there's a big old metal baby bump growing inside of her. Because she has to play this up, she has to wrap not only her tits together, but her belly, which is growing bigger and bigger seemingly every day. The father treats what he thinks is his son, and you can tell the relationship is very strained between them and almost weird because the father has a problem with shooting things into himself, possibly steroids so he can keep working out. He's obviously haunted by a lot of things. One of those being having lost his son and seeing him come back like this and knowing deep down inside his subconscious that this is not your child. At one point, Alexia wanted to kill him, but she came in and found that he was already dead. He overdosed, took too much. And so she's like, oh no, that's so sad. I'll cut the rest of my hair because I know it's what you wanted and I didn't let you cut it. And I didn't get to kill you, damn it. Well, now I have the freedom to try on this dress and see my belly's big. I can't hide it anymore. Then Alexia hears that the father is still alive. How? I know the irony cannot be lost on the people watching when the father finds who he thinks is his son in the closet wearing a dress. The father laughs, but as the movie continues, the more I think that the father has his own issues with not embracing who he really is. There's a lot of bonding. The father tells everyone to accept his son when everyone feels something is a little bit off, especially the person closest to the father, who I think looks up to him like a dad. When they're all on a ride together, this guy, who is basically the right-hand man of the captain, i.e. the father who thinks that Alexia is his son Adrian, knows that something is up. See, he happened to look at Alexia's picture, and it's out there that she's a serial killer or some sort, or at least she's responsible for having killed all those people in that house, and he is looking at this picture and looking at the person in front of him who just suddenly showed up, and he knows that Adrian isn't who he says he is. Because this guy cares about his captain, he pulls him aside when they're at a rave. They all kind of rave together. And he's like, Capitan, they're not Spanish, but they're French, but whatever. Yeah, there's something I need to tell you about your son. And the captain is like,
No, you do not talk about my son.
like really freaking angry, like he already knows, but doesn't want to hear it. The guy tries to interject, but the captain's like, no. Feeling frustrated, the guy goes back and tells Alexia, listen, crawl back into the hole you came from. Basically letting her know that, yeah, the gig is up for you. I know your shit. You lucky the captain's not in his right mind right now. But Alexia doesn't listen, and she's like, nah, Dad loves me. I'm gonna go dance with my father. And this is how they're dancing. Like, ordinarily, if you have a gay son, this is completely fine. Then the father lifts Alexia up. Remember, she's pregnant with that car's baby still? That's still a part of this story in case you feel like you're watching a completely different movie. I know. And the father is just so happy because his son loves him and is finally opening up to him even though he still can't talk. And he's just rejoicing because, well, he feels love. These two main characters are such great actors, especially this guy. Finally, the mother of the kid comes over and I think a part of her is like, what the hell? And he's like, go hug your son. And she hesitates mad long. Now, I don't know why in this movie nobody locks their freaking doors. Knowing that you're hiding such a monumental secret, why would you not lock your door? While she's unwrapping, as in having a lot of pain, guess who walks in? The mother. Not only that, but the belly has been itching very, very badly. And as she starts to scratch it, well, get this. The skin comes off. Like, you can see straight through the belly, and there's, like, metal underneath, but no blood. Jesus. Set the kiss and give me the pillow. Not only that, but our main character starts, I wouldn't call it lactating, because that's not milk that's coming out. It's freaking oil, or grease, or whatever that black liquid stuff is that's in machines. So the mother sees all this, and the only thing she's concerned with is, yeah, even though you're taking advantage of my ex-husband, make sure you take care of him. It's bad enough that you're taking advantage of him with his lunacy, but take care of him, because she knows it's better for her ex-husband to believe that this is his son, so that he can have some peace and happiness. But she's not concerned that, like, there's a hole in this woman's stomach where you could see metal coming through it, or grease coming out of her tits. Like, the things that people are supposed to be concerned with in this movie, they're not. And it's like, bro, what is happening right now? Actually, the mother looks more Italian to me, but yeah. After she grabs Alexia's belly and squeezes it, because, you know, that's a thing, she's like, whatever. Just don't leave him. Don't mistreat him. Just take care of him. Why don't you take care of him? So anyways, things get weird between this guy and who he thinks is his son. I have no idea what this movie is supposed to be telling us. Then the father bursts in because I guess that's French culture as well. When you're in your parents' house, you have no privacy. Same thing with my culture. No privacy. Doesn't matter how old you are. The father bursts in and Alexia quickly grabs her clothes because, you know, she's trying to hide a tummy and tits. And the father kind of briefly sees and he says, no matter who you are or what you are, you'll always be my son. Basically, he's saying, you might be another person. You might be a whole ass woman, but you're still my son. And I love you. This guy wants his son to exist so desperately that he's willing to accept another person who isn't his son being his son. Which is honestly kind of sad and depressing since they don't even know if their real son's dead or alive. And I feel so bad for the father. When the towel drops, the father quickly takes up the towel and covers back the tatates. So this is an uncomfortable scene when they're at another rave at the fire station. They put Adrian up there to dance. And being that the main character is actually a girl, her name is Alexia and she was a stripper, she's like, you know what? This is my element, boys. Watch me work. So she starts doing the sensual Joker dance, and it starts getting really inappropriate. Like, goddamn. I could understand if people didn't think the person was gay, but they think it's probably a gay man. So in my thing, okay, if you all thought he was gay, and maybe not all of them, some of them clearly like this, but a lot of them were making fun of this person before they knew that it was the captain's son. Why should it surprise you that he's dancing this way? Now, granted, I know a lot of gay people that aren't of the feminine type, because there's two types that I've seen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's some that you would never know, and there's some who are very free with their sexuality, and there's some that are way more feminine. And the ones that are not, I would not have known they were gay if they hadn't told me. And when they tell me, I'm like, like, oh, okay. And what, should I be worried that you're gonna steal my boyfriends or some shit? Maybe it wasn't as open in this time setting. Then the captain comes in and sees this, and Alexia/Adrian keeps going. And then the father leaves. And then Alexia mates with the fire truck. Yes, she copulates with the fire engine. Cause, you know, why not? I'm so confused. Then, sorry. Then the fire captain sets himself on fire and then, and then puts himself out. And then afterwards, Alexia goes to his room because she's like giving birth to the baby car human hybrid. Then tries to make out with the captain because the captain, remember, thinks that this is his son Adrian. Then he's like, what are you doing? You're ruining the illusion. He doesn't say the last part, but that's basically what's happening. He grabs off the covers and sees that she is in labor. And he's about to run, and she's like, no, don't leave me, I'm scared. And at that point, I feel so bad for her. So he grabs her, and he's like, okay. He positions her into the labor position. She's coughing up grease and all this shiznit. And he's like, push Adrian. And she's like, bitch, the jig is up. My name is Alexia. Can't you see my frickin' kazatch? With another kazoink coming out of it. Her head plate kind of opens up. Her stomach tears even more. You can see metal underneath the tummy. Like her stomach is made of metal. And then Alexia dies. There's the busted up belly, by the way. That's literally how it looked. No blood, just grease. I was honestly wondering at some point if the child was actually some kind of robot or something. Like Alexia was a robot, or they just like replaced all the parts in her body and she was all a machine because she was so badly mangled from the car accident. But they never like acknowledged that, or it just never gets acknowledged. Nothing ever. Okay. The whole time I wanted to know what the baby was going to look like, and it looks like a regular baby, but with like a metal spine and like a metal plate in the same place its mother's plate was. And the baby's probably a boy, so like poetic justice, this guy gets his son that he always lost, and he's like, I'm here, and then the movie's freaking over, and that's the movie, so... Yeah, so that was that. In the words of Mr. H.
This was something else. I don't know what the point of it was.
And I wholeheartedly agree. Really, what was the point of this frickin' thing? I'm serious, this could have been a whole dubstep music video, or cyberpunk music video, or something of the sort, because it made no frickin' sense. Like I said, that movie named Rubber with the tire that came to life and started killing people made more sense than this freaking movie. All I kept thinking to myself as I was watching was, what in the elephant ass cheeks in a toaster oven was this freaking film? And why did I watch it from start to finish? When I tell you that a psychic tire that can blow up people by vibrating and rolling by itself and staying in a hotel and being attracted to female humans and going for a swim is a movie that makes more sense than this movie, it's really, really saying something. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what the point was. I think somebody was like, yo, let's get freaking jizzed. Is that a word? Whatever. Let's get freaking jizzed and then like fling up and then just write a script. And whatever the script is, we make a movie on it no matter what happens. And Titane was the result of that. You know, I thought it was going to be about a serial killer, that it was, and then it wasn't. Then it's like a family thing, then it's like a sci-fi with the baby thing, and then nobody addresses the issue with the car and the fact that this woman is being torn apart giving birth to a robo-human thing. I'm so freaking tired. I can't even. You know what? Whatever. Yeah. My brain is so fried right now. I'm gonna go.